Hello and welcome to Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you for joining us for your weekly dose of chit chat round the kitchen table.
I don't know why that made me laugh. You say it every time and I found it particularly funny. Sorry,
I haven't
Pen.
even got to the subscribe button yet.
I threw you off your stride. Sorry, darling. We hope that our podcast does exactly what it says on the tin and that you feel like a friend at our table who's popped in, which is fine. You can, but please bring biscuits.
Of course. Lots. Custard creams would be good.
Although don't put them next to you. We'd lose you. Where's Penny? For anyone who doesn't know why that's funny, you have to check back to episode, I think about 2 or 3, wasn't it?
Something like that.
The great custard cream debacle, which lives on.
Custard cream gate.
You'll forever be known as Penny Dommett, custard cream.
Yes.
So yes, please have a listen and thank you.
So yes, give us a like, press the subscribe button, follow, pull up a chair, put on the kettle, do a bit of cleaning, anything. People like to listen to us whilst they're cleaning.
They do, yes, ironing as well, which I know we've already covered, but people are like, oh, I'll put you on when I'm ironing.
And in the car.
In the car, very popular one, on a long journey.
Yeah.
Trapped with the family.
Yeah.
May as well have a listen to us.
You could listen to a few episodes in a long journey.
Depends where you're going, Pen, I suppose.
Well,
Round the corner, not so much, maybe
Not
half
so
an
much,
episode. But if
no.
you're driving all the way to, say, let's say Cornwall, whack
loads.
it on. Well, that's at least 5 episodes, isn't it? I'm
I'd
not
have
sure.
thought so. You could do that, couldn't you? You could say, how long will it take me to get to Cornwall? Oh, a couple of podcasts.
A couple more than that, I reckon. But yeah, why not? And thank you. And we are, as ever, very grateful for each and every one of you for staying with us and for listening. So thank you for that. So, what have you been up to, Pen? Anything exciting?
What have I been up to? Well,
I'm only asking so I can give you my big news.
Oh, okay.
Just so you're warned.
Okay. Well, my news isn't going to be quite so big. This week, it has been very autumny.
It has. I've had a jumper on.
Well, and I think, looking out of my window, a lot of the trees are beginning to turn.
Yeah.
They're starting to get their autumn colours, aren't they?
Yeah, it's quite... do you feel sad or happy or excited?
I'm a summer girl. I don't like the idea of short days and cold nights and everything. No, so I'm not very keen on autumn.
It's my favourite, as you know. I absolutely love it. I prefer it over summer. Fires, jumpers, socks, hot chocolate.
I quite like the idea of lighting the fire again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because for me, at this time of year, I am beginning to get a little bit fed up of cutting all the time. I am thinking it'd be nice if the seedlings and the flowers all slowed down a bit, but I can guarantee it will only be 2 weeks and I'll be itching to be doing it again.
Yeah.
And all the seedlings will start to be, the seeds will be sown very soon now. Autumn sown seedlings, always much stronger. And then, so it'll be all systems go in the greenhouse.
That's exciting,
Yeah,
Pen.
it is exciting.
In your lovely greenhouse.
Yes, in my lovely
You'll be able to
greenhouse.
work by the light. You've got lovely lights up. You'll be able to work by lights. That'd be really nice.
It'll be nice, won't it? But yeah, the trees are definitely changing colour. We are very lucky, aren't we? Because we don't live very far from Westonbirt, which is an arboretum. They have the most incredible displays there. So if you've got the opportunity and you live nearby, go and visit, because the colours in the autumn, especially the acers, a lot of the trees there, fantastic colours. So definitely worth going.
The only thing that annoys me about going to Westonbirt is everyone else there.
Yeah.
Because I'd quite like it to myself.
Yes, but it's big enough that you can normally find one of the walkways you can have on your own.
Yeah, you're right. I just found it a bit, I don't know, I think we might have gone for, actually thinking about it, we might have gone something like a Halloween walk or an event.
Oh, yeah, lots of people.
And it was absolutely heaving. And I remember thinking, this is just,
No.
too much.
But we quite often take the dog for a walk there, and literally they've opened up new areas now.
How lovely.
And we hardly see a soul.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It's really lovely. Really lovely. They've planted a lot of new trees, and yeah, it's fantastic.
Is it National Trust, Pen? I can't remember.
I think it is, actually.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. And of course, they do a lot of concerts there.
Yes, they do.
Outdoor concerts there. I've
Yeah.
seen some great people there.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah, really good.
I've never been to an outdoor concert like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen Paloma Faith, The Cause, all sorts of people. Yeah, really good. And somehow, when we saw Paloma Faith, it poured down. But it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really, be really good. Surrounded by all the beautiful trees and everything.
Any
That's
live
great.
music's fantastic, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. Even in a pub garden, if someone gets a guitar out, I'm all in. I love that. Not that I spend my time sitting in pub gardens, but if I did and someone pulled out a guitar, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Anywho, Pen, my big news. Da-da-da, I'm off to India.
You have told me this. I'm a bit worried for you.
Are you?
Yes, I'm a bit anxious myself.
What are you worried about, love?
I don't know. It seems like an awful long way away.
It is, yes, true that.
That's true. And also, I mean, I don't tend to watch travel programs, but I still have this idea in my head that it's, sort of
Maybe a bit dangerous in places.
A bit dangerous, yes.
It's weird. I love all things India, and I always have done, even when I was a little girl. I remember I used to have this tiny set of encyclopedias that my mum got. I'm sure I want to say it was something to do with milk. You know, she got so many milk tokens, and then you were allowed to get an encyclopedia, and that was our sex. I think, that was all we had. And I had about 8 of them. And there was this maybe 4 pages on India, which, considering there were also 4 pages on how to grow a conker tree, wasn't enough for the great continent. There was it should have been more. And I just remember looking at the pictures of the brightly coloured saris and the makeup and the jewellery and the sun setting and the colour of the sky and the food and the spices and all these bright, bright colours, thinking, I want to go there one day. And it's never left me. I love Indian food. I love their faiths. I love their temples. I love music. I love Bollywood, everything about it. And I just think I'm absolutely desperate to go. I'm also nervous because, I don't want to be disappointed because it's lived in my memory as this amazing thing for so long. And you know how sometimes you build it up like...
Well, do you know, when we first met, that first week that we spent together, I remember you telling me, we need to go to India, you said.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was nearly a decade ago, Pen, my gosh.
I know.
But I've literally always wanted to go. And also, it doesn't feel like a place you want to go for, a few days. You've got to have the time to make the commitment. And so that's always been something that's held me back. But I'm incredibly excited. So we're going to quite a few places. We're doing sort of 4 or 5 different cities, from Chennai to Darjeeling to Kolkata. Am I saying that right? Kolkata? Why I'm asking you, I don't know. Kolkata, I think it is. Mumbai, all over. And I just think it's going to be incredible. Also, everyone I know who's been to India either says, oh my gosh, I love it. It changed my life. I've been a million times since and I can't wait to go back. Or, they have a horror story for you.
Yes.
I saw a body. Well, did you? Yeah. I saw a poo. Well, yeah, you do that in my garden. The poo, that is, not a body. But people are very keen, aren't they, to sort of, put you off in some way, which I think is a shame.
It's like all things, though. From pregnancy to having a puppy to going on holiday, everybody has always got an opinion.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. Why do people always want to share that with you?
Yeah, there's no
Why
need.
can't they just go, oh my gosh, you'll have a wonderful time?
Yeah. And I will have a wonderful time. And it's funny, I just think I'm going with Simeon, which will be great. I'm also researching a project, which is even more exciting.
I was just about to say, you're not going just because you're going on a nice little...
No, in fact, it isn't a holiday, I've got to be honest, because we are doing very specific tours, looking at very specific things in each place we go. And I saw our schedule the other day. I never know if it's schedule or schedule, Pen.
I would say schedule.
Schedule, so it's probably schedule. I looked at it the other day and it's literally, a spare hour, a spare half an hour because we're doing this, jumping on that train and getting on that bus and getting in this taxi. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be exhausted when I come back. But I think I'll be whipped up in the moment and I'm just going to go with the flow. And I'm kind of keeping my expectations open. I'm just thinking I'm going to just go with every day and every experience and just soak it all up.
Do you know the 2 things that I would love to do in India? Bit random.
They usually are, Pen, I'm prepared.
I would love to have a proper Indian head massage.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it would involve the massage.
It's always called Indian head massage, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you think, well, it must have originated from India.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? They must be incredibly talented and wonderful at it.
I'll be like, no thanks, I don't do that.
Head massage. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And the other thing is I would love to see a proper tea plantation.
Yes.
because
I thought you were going to go for yoga, to be honest, because that's your other go-to.
Could have done that. Yes, could have done that as well, you see.
See? Yeah.
Nice yogi retreat. But yeah, tea plantation, because that would be fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating to see how they dry it all and how it all gets, and how they grow the different teas. That would be interesting.
And blending teas,
Yeah.
it's such an art. I mean,
Yeah.
apparently blending tea is more complicated than making perfume.
Really?
Yes, it's incredible, the art. I mean, and these people who are these master tea blenders, they are so skilled, and their skills are very highly prized, because it's like, you've got to be aware of so many different factors. And I remember seeing this documentary, which is mainly what I'm basing my information on, and I can remember them saying, when are you going to pick the tea? And the guy said, it's not quite ready yet. And they said, when will it be ready? And he picked a leaf and he said, another 2 hours. And I thought it was a joke, because it was like, what? That moment when they're picking peas and they go, we've got to pick it now. It was exactly the same, and they know exactly when, at the light of the day and the temperature and the soil and the phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think I'll find it overwhelming and overstimulating, which I tend to. If things are a lot for me, I tend to find myself feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Even just thinking about it, as you can tell, just did that. But I'm sort of factoring in a bit of downtime every evening so I can write up what I've seen.
Yeah, you should as well give yourself a couple of days to do something completely touristy.
Yeah.
Visit somewhere that is sort of like the general thing that everybody
Taj
does.
Mahal or something.
Yes, something like that. Because otherwise you're visiting places from a research point of view.
Yeah.
And it might not necessarily be what most people do when they go to India.
No, that's a good point. And I love Indian food so much. Obviously, I'm vegetarian, and I just think I'm going to be totally spoiled. And everyone I know says, until you've eaten Indian food in India.
Yeah, it's completely different, isn't it?
I can't wait. Super excited.
And
but
material.
Also
Material. Can you imagine all that beautiful material?
Shall I bring us something back and we can make something?
Yes.
I'd love that so much. I'm looking forward to shopping as well, because I already have lots of Indian things in my home, but I'm really excited about that. I might just take an empty suitcase, in fact.
Yes. I think that
Or
sounds
just
really
lob
good.
my
For
clothes
present.
out. Except for
For
your
my present.
very large
Yes,
gift of
yes.
present, yes.
Yes.
No, it's going to be absolutely wonderful.
Do you know anything about Indian, Buddhism, or the sort of religious aspect
I do.
of temples and that sort of
Yeah,
thing?
I mean, I know a little bit about all the main religions. I'm fascinated by religion, and I always have been. Mainly, I'm fascinated by what makes them similar and what makes them different. I find it absolutely incredible. And I can remember I had this absolutely brilliant RE teacher. We used to call it RE. What did you call it?
Yeah,
RE.
RE.
And I was only a young teenager. And they gave us a list of there was 4 different faiths, which I'm not going to name. And they basically gave you a list of things that were almost forbidden and things that were to be encouraged in these faiths. And you had to guess which faith it was.
Oh, wow.
And they were so similar.
Yeah.
And it was really surprising.
Because it would be the actual buildings that I would find fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I love a building.
Yeah.
So to see a proper temple would be incredible.
I also love ritual around religion, any religion, whether it's the Sufi dancers or, making that amazing Sufi music in the Muslim faith, or, whether it's watching a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, whatever it is. I love the rituals around it, and I love how the rituals are developed, why they do it, how they're observed differently. So I think I'm going to be, and I'm all about a candle and a bit of incense,
I'm going to, this shows how terrible I am at history. Is it in China where the terracotta army is?
Yeah.
That would be fascinating.
Did you ever, I'm guessing you didn't, when I was a kid, I want to say maybe about 11 or 12, they bought a load of the Red Army terracotta warriors over, and they had them on display.
Yeah.
Was it the British Museum? I can't remember.
I think so.
Probably. They've
like
nicked
that.
everything else.
Yes.
It probably was there. But I can remember queuing with my brothers and my mum and dad to go and see them. And it was, we were seeing a tiny fraction of it, but it was incredible.
Whereabouts is it? Do you know?
The Terracotta Army? Oh, I don't know, Pam.
No. I mean, but that would be amazing to see.
Yeah, but anything that...
And the history behind it, how they uncovered it all. And
Literally.
literally.
Yeah, and the detail, but the scale of it. I remember I remember seeing this huge room, and they'd sort of put them in the ground with glass over the top so you could see it. And they said it was something like it's 250 times more than this, or whatever it was.
But they were all different, weren't they?
Yes.
Each one was different.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I love anything like that. So really, really excited, but also a little bit nervous. But anyone who's been to India, anyone who knows anything about India, please get in touch. Tell me what I have to see, have to taste, have to buy, have to observe. Things
Bring back for me.
Bring back for Pen, obviously. But I'd love to hear other people's experiences and whether they were anxious and whether their fears were allayed and what the trip has left them with, really.
So are we going to do virtual Zoom recordings?
We should definitely do that, Pen.
That'd be good.
Should we do that? I'll call you from my tea plantation.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really good.
We could both have a cuppa.
Yeah.
One of us more freshly brewed than the other.
Yes.
That'd be absolutely marvellous. Oh, let's do that, Pen. Yeah, let's
could.
do that. Assuming we can get a good connection.
Yes.
Which, let's face it, it's going to be quieter than it is here with the dogs snoring and farting and your chickens clucking and all the rest of it. So, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Very, very much. Feedback. I was just thinking about this quite recently. So I am, obviously, part of my job as a writer, I hand my books over to 2 different editors, one in America, Tefania, who we discussed prior, lives in Texas, don't know what she has for breakfast, we still don't know. Please get in touch, Tefania. And I have to get their feedback. That's the whole point. If they just sent back, it's marvellous, in the way that my mum does when she reads a book, they would never be corrected, they'd never be improved. I used to be really, really bad at handling feedback. But I've worked out as I get older, the best way to give it to me is quite bluntly. And then I get it. If you sort of try and sugarcoat it, I'm sort of second guessing. Don't spare my feelings. Give me the feedback. How good are you at receiving feedback? And how do you like to get it? And let's assume it's negative.
Yes. I know what you mean. I think sometimes you feel like, they're not really telling me the truth anyway. But I'm not very good at getting criticised. I'm not very good at that at all. And I don't know how, for example, you are in the position that you get reviewed. I mean, I wouldn't be very good at that.
I know we've spoken about this before, haven't we? And it's a really strange one because you want to be reviewed. You want your reviews to be open and honest. You want people to be free to say whatever they want. The key
as long as it's 5 stars.
Well, the key is understanding that everything is subjective. And I've read books that have been absolute whizzes, books that have been commercially very, very successful and thought, I don't get it.
No.
And that's my personal view and opinion. On the other hand, books of people said, I couldn't stand it. And I think that was one of my faves, so it is a very personal thing. We don't all dress alike. We don't all decorate our homes the same.
But does it feel different? Because when somebody is reviewing your book, it's not you personally. It's a book. I know you've created it.
So if someone said, I hate that garden, I hate it, I hate everything about it, and you've put your heart and soul into designing it, planting it, you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
It is you.
Well, I think as well, at that point, I'd think I obviously wasn't reading the brief properly. But it's different to them saying, I think you're really ugly, or I think you're really unkind.
Also, Pen, I think very often I can tell a lot about people's reviews and their feedback. It says an awful lot about them.
Yes.
About how they feel about themselves, about what they've got going on, about the time in their life. It could be a million things. And sometimes, let's face it, for example, if you've written a book about, I don't know, I can't even think of anything, divorce.
Yeah.
You've written a book about divorce and someone's going through a divorce. That book might not be for them at that point.
No.
It might be for them in 5 years' time or whatever. So it's all very, very, there's so many factors, isn't there?
But, on Audible or any of the book, Amazon or whatever it is, and they say, leave a review. I'm very keen to leave a review if I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I will go 5 stars. This is the best book I've read in the last month. You need to read it. It stays with you, blah, blah, blah. If I absolutely hated it, I don't think I could be bothered to write a review.
No, but some people kind of get off on that. They
Yeah,
kind of
they do.
like it.
Yeah.
And it's I'm not like that.
It's like TripAdvisor.
Exactly, yeah. Although I have left one bad review in my life.
Have you?
Yeah, and it was for a hotel. Oh my gosh. I'm still thinking about it, Pen. When the boys were little, they must have been about 8. and we were really skint, and we hadn't had a holiday for a long, long time. And I found this holiday in Mallorca, and I love Mallorca. I love the Balearics, all of them. I love Spain, as you know. And it was in this hotel. I can't remember where it was actually, although I can, and maybe I'm just not saying it. And it was a 1-star hotel. You wouldn't think you'd get a 1-star hotel, could you? No, but you can. And it was so cheap. It was something like, 50 quid a person for like 4 days, including flights. There's a clue there, Pen.
Yes. But
Simeon said, how bad can it be? We're only going to be there to shower, maybe have a bit of breakfast, and then go to the beach every day. I said, this is absolutely, you're right. How bad can it be? As long as it's clean, and actually it scored quite well on cleanliness. I thought, this is fantastic. So off we toddled, and the boys were obviously very excited and very young. And I can remember we arrived, and the front desk was very pleasant. There was a lady there. She was a English woman. She was telling us all about the hotel, where to go the next day, how to get to the beach. I was just this is the best thing we've ever done. This is marvellous. And she walked us through these beautiful tiled corridors. They were having a lot of building work done. We didn't mind. The only people staying there. Fantastic. Took us through all these corridors. There's builders chatting and waving, and we're all lying, and we're walking up the stairs, and it's all great. They took us up to the roof. Now, have you ever seen one of these sort of American horror movies where there's those lights flashing with, to give the name of a place, but a couple of the lights don't work on a roof? We were up there, and I thought, this is weird. And I'm saying to the kids, don't go near the edge, darlings. And they're like, why? They're running up to the edge, and it's just this sheer drop. And we are literally on this flat roof with this hotel name, which shall remain nameless, flashing on this horizon. I thought, this is like something from a horror movie. She opened up a door, no key, no lock, no nothing, on the roof. We go down 3 steps, and we're in somebody's flat. When I say flat, it was sort of a small sitting room area with 2 beds in, and then a bedroom with 2 beds in. And it was absolutely filthy. I opened up the wardrobe, and there was a poster of Fonzie inside it. Okay. There was an Elvis mirror in the bathroom, which I didn't hate. There was dirty crockery and cutlery in the sink, and the floor was covered in hair and dust and filth. And the boys were like, yay, penthouse! And I'm thinking, I don't know what to do here. There is no way I'm laying on that mattress. Luckily, I'd bought a couple of pashminas with me, and I lay them on the mattress, and I had to lay on top of that. And it rained very, very heavily for the whole time we were there. Oh, no. So we basically spent 4 days in a cafe, just playing cards. And do you know what, Pen? It was one of the best holidays we've ever had. It was brilliant. We all remember it because we were laughing and joking, and it was so dire. And we had something like 20 minutes of sunshine, and we ran to this beach, and we were like, quick, get in the sea, and then out the sea. But halfway through the holiday, it was one afternoon, we'd gone back to the room to get something, do something. And this guy just walked in, and this Polish man, really, really nice. And he said, oh, sorry, but this is where I sleep when you're not here, and I've just come to get some cutlery and my sauce. And he opened up a cupboard, took out his bottle of tomato ketchup or whatever it was, a couple of forks, and left. And we were like, okay, it makes sense. So they were renovating this hotel. We were sleeping where the builders slept. Obviously, they thought we could make a bit of money, advertise it. And I did write a review saying it probably wasn't worth even the 50, 60 quid a person we paid. God. But yeah, it's the only time. Because I think usually people are trying.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I mean, we have 1 week's holiday a year. That's all we have. And the rest of the time, weekends included, most of the time we're working. So when we go away, it has got to be better than my home. It's got to be somewhere that the sun is shining. I have to walk 4 paces to the swimming pool, and the food is wonderful. And I'm not cooking it.
Yeah.
That's all I ask for.
Well, this was 20 years ago, and I must admit it's different now.
Yeah, it is different now.
But we were grateful for that holiday. And as I say, literally since then, we've taken the boys on some amazing excursions. They don't remember them. They don't talk about them. They said, do you remember that holiday when we were up on that roof? And they just remember it. And I just think...
I remember taking the boys to Lanzarote, and we'd never been to Lanzarote before. And it was interesting. It was interesting. We still have a photograph where I thought it would be lovely to go on a tour. So we did a tour to the volcano.
Yeah.
And there was camels and all sorts there. But what I hadn't appreciated was that it was like an hour and a half in a coach to get there. The photograph I took of the boys with these sort of like, it looked like a desert behind them.
Dark, isn't it?
And a couple of cactus. And they both are literally green. They are both looking like they could throw up at any moment.
Because they've been on a coach.
Yeah, because they've been on a coach. But anyway, so we went to Lanzarote, and as you know, in these hot places, they have a problem with bugs and pests and things. And we got chatting to this other couple, and the next day she didn't come down to breakfast. And I said, oh, where's Susan this morning? And he said, oh, we had a terrible night. Oh, we had a terrible night. I went, oh dear, is she all right? Yeah, she's just sort of a bit in trauma. She's in shock. Apparently, when she sleeps on her back and she snores a bit.
Nothing wrong with that, Pen.
Nothing wrong
with that.
But she was lying there on her back in the bed, snoring with her mouth open, and a cockroach fell off the ceiling into her mouth.
Penny.
And she literally was completely traumatised.
Oh my
and she
God.
just couldn't come out of the room. She literally couldn't come out of the room.
Penny.
I know, isn't that terrible?
That is absolutely disgusting. Did she swallow it?
Well, I didn't ask for too many details, but apparently it sort of literally
Penny.
went to the back of her throat, and so she was going like that. And then she managed to spit it out of her mouth, and it crawled off.
Penny, that
Can you
is
imagine?
one of the most disgusting things.
I know.
Thank you so much for sharing, darling. Because if you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have had that image in my head.
Well, be careful in India.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's all I can say. Don't sleep on your back.
Oh, my God.
Are there bugs in it? There's bound to be bugs in India.
I think, yes,
Snakes.
there are bugs in India. I think that's
sorts
fair
of
to
things.
say, yeah. But, I hadn't been worried about that. It's not
Tigers.
But what about tigers?
There might be tigers.
Sadly, I think there's less and less tigers. I don't have to worry about them. But, I'm sorry, I'm still fixated on that woman's cockroach. That's so awful.
I know. Terrible, isn't it?
I was going to say, what's the worst thing you've ever had in your mouth? What's the worst bug you've ever had in your mouth?
Don't snort. You're as bad as the dogs.
What's the worst bug you've ever had in your mouth?
Actually, once my sister, this is a warning to us all, she was drinking a can of something,
Oh, lethal.
and she took a swig out of it, and it had a wasp in it. And she actually got stung in her mouth.
Oh, I feel bad for laughing now. That's
I know.
taken a turn.
Yeah,
Pen. I wasn't
I know.
expecting that. 1 minute we're laughing. Now I'm feeling very guilty.
So literally, she had to rush off to the hospital. And the moral of the story is: don't drink fizzy drinks out of cans.
Well, I remember.
I don't ever.
No,
Never.
I do. No. But when we were teenagers, several of our groups smoked. Yeah, it's cool and trendy then. And
Was it ever?
I don't know. And they were using an old Coke can as an ashtray and putting their cigarette butts in it. And one of the girls picked it up, thinking it was her drink, and it was Coke and cigarettes. I mean, that just
Yuck.
still not as bad as your cockroach, though.
No.
That's the winner right there, Pen.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely
Thanks.
awful. Yeah, that's awful. Food, Pen. Talking about going to India and things, I'm really, really excited about sampling all the different cuisines. And apparently, obviously, it's completely different in every region. So we talk about curry. There's no such thing as curry. There's just all these beautiful regional dishes, which I can't wait. Do you ever have a day where you eat nothing but pure rubbish? Or are you really good most of the time?
No, and doesn't it make you feel dreadful the next day?
It does.
I mean,
Do you ever do it? Do you ever just have like a bit of toast and then a bag of crisps?
I'm afraid for me, I'm not a massive chocolate fan.
No.
But when I do have chocolate, I have to eat the entire thing.
I have seen that.
I cannot just eat. How do people just have 2 chunks?
I've strange
and
people.
then keep chunks for tomorrow? That is ridiculous.
I should point out that watching you eat chocolate, it's a bit like, when a boa constrictor comes across a rat or a baby chick.
So you can see the dairy milk shape in my neck.
The twirls going down like a little equal sign in your neck. Yeah, I have seen that.
But crisps, they're my downfall.
Are they?
I absolutely love crisps. I have been known to eat a family-size packet of crisps on my own. I just love crisps.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love them.
I mean, you always have crisps when I come to your house. You're always having a little dainty bowl while we're having our little chit chat before dinner.
I've already had.
I don't know. This makes sense. This makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't like a Pringle.
You don't like a Pringle?
No, not really.
Penny?
No, I like a crisp.
What's your favourite crisp flavour?
Oh, salt and vinegar, of course. I mean, anybody else likes anything else, they're stupid. Yeah, salt and vinegar.
Do you like that really, really flavoury one that makes your mouth pucker?
Yeah, definitely. But I love a crisp. But we have been known on a Saturday where we'll get up in the morning and we might even have a fried breakfast. Don't do it very often, just occasionally. And then
I could bring you my mushroom dish.
Not again. And we've only just recovered from the last one.
None taken.
And then we will have bread and cheese for a little snack with crisps, a whole packet. And then we might have an ice cream. And then I'm so full I don't have anything for supper. That might be washed down with a glass of wine.
We have days like that. And it's just so strange. I feel so terrible when I do it. I almost can't wait to get up and have a Brussels sprout.
But neither of us do that very often.
No.
Very, very rarely do we ever do that.
And that's okay, isn't it? All about that balance.
I mean, if anything, the bad thing is I can go quite easily without eating. I know that sounds crazy.
No.
But I'll have a bowl of porridge in the morning before I go out to do maintenance or gardening or picking or whatever I'm doing. And if I'm busy, I just won't have anything then until supper.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I eat the biggest plate of food at supper time, which is really bad for you.
See, if I do that, if I go without, that's what I do, Pen.
Yeah.
If I go without during the day, which I do frequently, if I'm just into it and working, I don't think about it, I'm eating while I'm cooking even. So I might even have a piece of toast while I'm cooking dinner because I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
We all know what we need to do, don't we? It's just doing it's another thing.
I know. But I definitely, we have salad every single day probably. I think Robert prefers
He's a salad addict, isn't
he? To vegetables. But I always like my plate to be colourful.
Yeah.
I don't understand these people that just have beige food. We don't really have things like rice and pasta very often.
Don't you?
No, I cook it with the chickens.
We have quite a lot of rice, quite a lot of pasta.
Yeah. No, we don't have it very often.
No. I love a good pasta. Oh, good pasta and a very simple sauce is probably one of my favourite things.
Do you know what? I think I've only ever been to Italy once.
Oh, really?
To Milan. And apparently, same thing, like we were talking about. Pasta, having properly made pasta in Italy, there's nothing like it. It doesn't taste anything like the pasta you get here.
Well, my daughter-in-law, she makes it, daughter-in-law to be.
Oh,
hello.
I was going to say.
She makes it all from scratch.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's got a little pasta
one of those
machine.
little rolling things.
She just does it, and she literally just gets flour and puts it on the surface with a bit of, I think, egg and water. I don't know, I'm making it up. Clearly, I don't do that. And just makes pasta dough and then puts it through a little doodah, and they have fresh pasta. And she says, well, it takes just as much or as little time as. And I'm thinking, does it though? But
she'll have to give me a lesson.
It tastes so much different. It's absolutely delicious.
Completely different.
Yeah, lovely.
But you eat curry, don't you? Yeah, a curry that we have here.
Yes, a dal or a lentil dal. I mean, one of my favourite things. So I'm really excited to try all that. It'd be wonderful.
I bet.
I'll come back with some recipes.
I was going to say, are you going to be like those long forgotten Facebookers that takes photographs of everything you eat?
I probably will.
And send it to me.
But I don't need to think about recipes because my wonderful friend, Chetna, who I think she was on Bake Off originally, but she is the most you
gave me her recipe book.
I bought us all a copy, didn't I, when I went to her launch. I can't remember what that book was, but she's written several, and her recipes are quick, easy. I can follow them and I can do them, and if I can, anyone can. Chetna McCann, she's absolutely amazing. She does loads of like YouTube tutorials and stuff, and it's like Chetna's, cookery course. It's all free.
Can I ask a question?
Do.
Now you've brought up YouTube. I don't understand how people do these YouTube videos, because do they make money from it?
I don't know.
Do they make a living from it?
I don't know.
Because there's lots of them on there.
Yeah.
I know sometimes there's a couple of growers and they do them, and they say, oh, you can buy me a coffee, quote unquote.
Yes.
And then I think you can click on something
and make it make a donation or something?
of £2 or something.
Yeah, I've seen that on quite a few. I don't know what it is really.
Is that how people make money from it?
I don't honestly know, Pen.
And also subscribing to a YouTube channel. Blah, blah, blah. Not only did I have subscribe in there, but I had YouTube channel. does that bring people an income?
I just want to say that you have asked me 6 times, and every time I say, I don't know, you ask me a slightly different question, and then I say, I don't know, Pen. And then you go, yes, but, and then I go, I don't know, Pen.
Answers.
So, Pen.
I'm needing answers.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know, but I will find out.
You told me as well last time that you were going to find out the difference between Tai Chi and Taekwondo and Judo.
Oh.
And Jiu-Jitsu.
Well done for remembering all of those, Pen.
Yes. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I've been lying awake at night worrying about it.
Maybe, I tell you what I'll do. I'll write up a little something or do a little video with people that know, and I'll pop it on our Instagram page, which is...
At the Chit Chatters.
Oh, Pen, it's like we've said that a million times before.
Oh, it's easier to say than subscribe.
For you, maybe, my darling. Oh, listen, thank you so much for listening. We're at the end again of another lovely episode, and we really, really appreciate your company. You can, of course, catch up on all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, take care.
Bye.